Hi, I'm Willow, and today I'm going to be talking about diet culture on TikTok and how it can potentially lead to unhealthy eating habits and eating disorders with not doing proper research. The first video I'm going to be talking about is the cottage cheese and mustard trend. It was introduced by a TikTok creator named Tiffany. It basically consisted of a low-calorie chicken sausage and a variety of vegetables and cottage cheese and mustard to dip it in. And the other trend I'm going to be talking about is chia seed water. It was a way to get a flat stomach in less than a couple months by just drinking chia seeds mixed with water. I think both these trends in general are horrible eating habits and can lead to restrictive eating for young girls and adults. So the first trend we're talking about is the cottage cheese and mustard trend. It was a trend created by Tiffany. It was a diet consisting of a chicken sausage, a variety of vegetables, and cottage cheese and mustard to dip it in. In total, if I had to guess, that meal is probably like 300-400 calories. Even if you eat it twice a day, it's still going to be around 800 to 900 calories, which would be under most average calorie deficits if you do that research. And if you do further research into her account, you'll find out that this meal that she's made was actually suggested from a healthcare professional, hers, because she was suffering with lupus, and she was overweight, so this whole plate was recommended to her by a doctor. So it's kind of like a broken telephone. So she ate this on TikTok, and it's getting millions of likes, and then it created a whole trend where everyone's doing it, and everyone thinks it's just a healthy, low-calorie meal, when in reality it's really just micro-eating. It's not meant for other people's needs, and I feel like young girls might be misled by this because maybe they'll do it and they're not happy with the results because they're not losing weight, or it could just lead to under-eating and their unhealthy eating habits. But if they did further research, they would find out that was from a doctor for her and her only, not everyone else. The other trend I'm talking about is the chia seed water. I'm not exactly sure who created it. All I know is that it's been on my For You page for ages. It's basically where you take 3 tablespoons of chia seeds and mix into a cup of water, and you basically chug it. Keep in mind, chia seeds expand. So when you drink it, they expand in your stomach, and it takes up a majority of the room in your stomach. So it's basically limiting your food intake. And yes, chia seeds have health benefits, but I also think that this trend in general is not talking about the health benefits, it's talking about losing weight. And if you do further research online, there's no medical proof that chia seeds help with weight loss. And if you do further research, I would genuinely say that this trend is basically, if you're keeping up with it and doing it every day, is essentially like type 2 anorexia, where you are limiting your food intake and using any type of laxative or weight loss medications to achieve weight loss. I say this because chia seeds, excuse my language, but really have to make you poop, shit, whatever. So technically it is classified as a laxative. So without doing this further research, they would find out that this is really unhealthy. Not only is it limiting your food intake, but it can also lead to really harmful consequences of having a type 2 eating disorder. Yeah, which I feel like is very harmful for young girls, because coming from someone who struggled with the anorexia her last year of high school, I would say it came with a lot of health complications and consequences that I kind of deal with even today. And back then, I was very influenced by stuff I saw online, and I feel like it really affected my eating disorder. You kind of see these trends online, and when you're on the bigger side, or you're just unhappy with your body in general, you're less likely to do the research for it. You just want to lose weight as fast as possible, with the least amount of work, essentially. I guess it varies depending on person, but for me that was very much that. I never worked out. I would just limit my food intake, to the point where I was eating just a piece of toast a day and lots of water, which over time was just really just a bad habit. Led to lots of ER visits, a lot of health problems. It was just definitely not worth it. I don't wish it on anyone, and I feel like being that young, I was very vulnerable to these trends and not doing proper research. As far as thinking of strategies for teaching media to young girls, I would say definitely my one biggest thing would be definitely to do your research. Because even me doing research in these trends, I found that they're not effective, and they're also not catered towards all of us, maybe just one person. And one thing doesn't work for everyone, and it's really about doing your own research that would really help. Also, along with research, just fact checking the person behind who's telling you what, because keep in mind, half the people that were doing this trend or recommending these trends, they are not healthcare professionals, they are not dietitians, they have no credibility as far as weight loss tips. Keep in mind, like, influencers who work out a lot and they're like part of gym TikTok, they are not people you should be getting health and dieting advice from. They don't have proper education to tell you what you can and cannot eat, what you should and should not be eating. A lot of those creators have unhealthy eating habits in general, so I feel like definitely doing research. If you're working with a big group of girls, I would definitely say like having some sort of place where you talk about healthy eating habits and body positivity is a big thing, and I think it would go a really long way. We never really talked about it in school, so I feel like a majority of the girls I knew all had eating disorders, so none of us talked about it. It's all just closed door type thing, and teachers don't talk about it, so I feel like that type of education is also really important as well. Overall, I would say fact-checking and doing research online and seeing credibility is definitely very important. Not everything is what it seems as it is online. It is really super easy to be misled or given non-credible information. And I think that these types of trends in general can lead to very unhealthy eating habits or just habits in general, and can sometimes put your health at risk and can be potentially dangerous to you. But yeah, I will link the videos down in the description below. But yeah, thank you for listening.